Hi everybody, it's Kelley Rao. I'm going to show you today how I make both leather and vinyl and fabric tassels. Tassels just, to me, elevate a bag. It just takes it from, wow to ow. So here's an example of the one that I made a couple of days ago. And it goes on this beautiful bag from Shambhala, which you'll be seeing soon on my feed. Just a gorgeous bag. You give it this little bit of pop though, and it's $1 million bag. That's how much I'm selling it for, by the way. If you're interested, just message me. So that's this beautiful leather tassel. We're going to do leather tassels first, by the way. And then we have a couple of little smaller, shorter ones, green and purple. They're actually really pretty together. You can use more than one tassel on a bag. Don't be shy with the tassels. And then the piece de resistance on my fringe is paying off. This is a 10-inch tassel. Now, when your bag is really, really long, sometimes it needs a bit more, pizzazz. And I am making 2 bags that need this tassel. So we're going to make one more of these today, and you can make it with me. So, beautiful leather tassels. Let's talk about the stuff you're going to need to make these tassels. Well, you're going to need leather, obviously. And I'll show you what I have here. Get these really nice 4x6 pieces of leather from Peggy Sue also. They come, like I said, pre-cut. You can ask for a particular color or style, flowers, whatever you want. And then they'll send you 6 to a pack. They're about $7 or so it's not terribly expensive. And then if you ask really nicely, sometimes I ask for 2-ounce leather or less so I can make a nice tassel. They almost always accommodate me. So if you ask nicely, it's amazing what happens in the world, huh? Now for our big tassel today, I used a piece of leather, also from Peggy Sue also. And this is cut to 4x10. Now I may trim it later on just to get it, so it's not too long, but I start with 4x10. So that's this piece. And then let's talk about the tools of the trade, what we need to make our tassels. So obviously you need tassel holders. I know people were asking about this one in the group. So this is it's beautiful. I agree. This tassel is from So You Need Hardware. I hope she comes out with more of them because they are really beautiful and I have not found them anywhere else. So I'm kind of hoarding these, so don't ask for it. So this is a beautiful gold one, and it's hexagonal. It's not really square, it's hexagonal. Hard to see in the picture, and then it has a pretty nice sized barrel in there for the tassel. I'll put that down. And then we have this one. Now this is about half the size, the barrel, as the other one, and these are from myhandmadespace.com. Really nice. They come in all the colorways that you like, rose gold, nickel, of course, and this is the light gold one. Good quality. It's a little bit smaller, like I said, so these are great for smaller projects, but super nice. And then we have this one. You can find these ones all over the internet. I'm not a huge fan because once you clip it onto something, that kind of sticks out weird, but maybe I just haven't figured out how to use it yet. But it's an option. It's got a big barrel, so if you want a big thick tassel, this is the guy for you. And then last but not least is this really pretty one. This is from bagsbycat.com, and it's got a really pretty beveled edge around it, circular, and then beveled, almost like diamond shape on the end. It's got a really good size for the tassel, and then all you do is just buy her lobster clasp to attach it. I haven't attached it yet, so this is really pretty. So that's the hardware you need. And then you need tools. So the tools you're going to need, first of all, of course, leather. Got our leather here, and you're going to need this is a 28mm rotary cutter. I know people use the templates, and that seems to work for them, but I find I am more precise with just ruler. This is a 12-inch ruler that you'll need. Ruler and rotary and a cutting mat, and I feel I'm set. Once we do our cuts, you're going to need some double-sided tape, leather tape. And that depends what size on how big your cap is. We're going to make this leather big guy with this tassel. And I'll show you that as we get there, but we need that. We had our double-sided tape, and I think that's all we need for the leather version. So let's get started. And then we'll come back and we'll make the really cute, very inexpensive, and fun to make vinyl and fabric versions. But we'll do that after we make the leather one. So the first thing you want to do is, and I may stand up, hopefully you'll be able to see the project and less about me, but that's okay. So you're going to take your leather, and it doesn't really matter what side you cut on, it's really up to you. Sometimes it's easier on one side or the other, you decide. I think I'm going to put it on the back, and you want to get a marking pen, of which I didn't get it. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. A leather marking pen, the Tandy pens. These are fantastic to use on leather and vinyl, and then of course, as you probably know by now, the refills are super cheap on Amazon. So you want to take your tassel and kind of place it on the end of the leather to get a gauge for how big of a, how much you want to poke into the channel there, okay? So if we look at this guy, it's probably about a 3/4 of an inch channel. 1/2 an inch is good then, because we don't want the fringes hanging out, if that makes sense. So we're going to take our ruler, and we're going to draw a 1/2 inch line from side to side. Just so you can see it, okay? Put that back. Little 1/2 inch line, nothing that it's too exciting. Then we're going to come up here. I want to make sure I can get this, that you can see it in the camera version, okay? Now, we're going to take our ruler. We're going to just keep the mat as your guideline. We're going to put our ruler to the very edge, and you're going to cut like 1/8 of an inch strips. And you don't want it to cut a 1/4 inch because they look chunky, and if you cut anything less than 1/16, they're going to become very thin, and they could probably easily fall apart. So we're going to cut this. So I'm going to stand up. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I don't cut very well sitting down. Very important that you have changed your blade, or it's just not going to be pretty. So always change the blade. They're cheap. So I'm going to start cutting. I may or may not bore you with the entire cutting process. I may have to edit that part out. We'll see. So let's get cutting. Okay. This over here. So you got on your cutting mat, and we're going to put your ruler to the line you drew, keep it on the mat so you can see, and carefully slice down. I like to, and this will be hard for you to see, if not impossible, I like to move the fringe out of the way to the right, and then take my next cut line. And just take this super slow, be careful, and you're just going to keep cutting all the way down. So I'm going to keep doing this, moving my fringe out of the way, using my cutting mat to make sure that everything stays lined up, and that my strips are an 1/8 of an inch. And just keep cutting. So when you make your tassels, we always make them 4 inches wide, if you will. But depending upon the barrel or how big the cap is, you can, like for the vinyl ones, 1 4-inch vinyl piece like this will make 2 straps, or I'm sorry, 2 tassels. So it really depends upon the fabric that you're using and the size of the tassel. But I always start with, like I said, the 4-inch by whatever you like, and then we go from there. Okay, So I'm gonna stop talking, like I ever do that, right? And keep cutting. You know, sometimes, so much for not talking, right? I think even if you could actually just sell tassels as a standalone product because they are so pretty and they're super popular. Not everybody has the time or talent to make them. So if you're thinking about ways of expanding your business, it's one more little niche that you could add to it. And they're beautiful. And you know, they probably, some of these tassels, the actual caps can run you like $3, and the leather can cost you $2. So you're looking at, you know, $5 in cost, but depending upon the tassel, you can easily sell them between $10 and $15. So if you have lots of leather scraps and just want to, like I said, use them up and make a little extra income, these are the way to go. So, almost done. Like I said, I might edit out some of this part so you're not hearing me rambling, but see how hopefully you can see it. I should check. Yeah, looks good on the camera. The last one I did, all the work was done off the camera, which was great. Huh? Live and learn. All right, so getting here. And you do want to keep the cutting mat and your strips aligned so that you don't end up being kittywampus. But it's not the end of the world because usually they become kittywampus towards the end, and you can always just fold those in towards the center. So nothing is unfixable. Everything can be done. And we have fun. I love making tassels personally. What's fun about the vinyl ones is you don't always have the right leather piece to match. Peggy Sue sends you a variety of colors and prints, but you know, you don't get to pick them much beyond a certain theme, but they're still gorgeous. So if you have time, go check out her website on Etsy and pick up some leather. But the vinyl is super cheap, super fun, and they match your bag exactly if you're into the matchy like I am, as you know. All right, so we're getting down to the end. I'm pushing the fringe to the right so I can see. And looks like we have one more to go. Oops, down girl. One or two more. And again, I may end up cutting off some of this because it'll be too much for the barrel, but that's okay. So, make sure there's that. Okay, so all cut, ready to go to a luau. Da, 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 da. Sorry. All right, so beautifully, took not that much time at all, really. Now we're gonna put this face down on our table, get our tassel cap ready, and we're just gonna do a quick little roll up. You're gonna just roll from the top and just keep rolling till you get to the end. And the goal here is, before we do anything with tape or glue, you wanna make sure it's gonna fit in the cap. And this is too big, as you can see. So I'm gonna take a seat here. So, like I said, it's too big, so we're going to cut off a couple of the fringes. So now's the time to say what's your good side and what's your bad side. So my starting side is always the nicest, and my ending, they got kind of a little bit wonky. So I'm just going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut off 2 fringes. By the way, you can keep this, keep the little spare fringe. Might make for a nice zipper pull, so keep all those great little scraps. All right, so I'm going to roll it up one more time and check for a fit. Well, try to roll it up evenly. Don't be like me. always take your time. There's no reason to rush anything that we're doing when it comes to our craft, because it usually means doing it twice anyhow, right? Okay, so all rolled up nice, and we're gonna check our fit. And it should fit snug. So it's still it's too big. So I'm gonna take off 2 more. I always do it in 2s. Now I'm gonna leave it rolled up this time and see if it fits, because I don't need to keep unrolling it. See if it fits. And you just kind of squeeze it in there. It fits. Okay. Well, now we want this to be a little bit more permanent than that. So we're going to take our little extra fringe, if you will, put it aside. And now we're going to open up your tassel. Now we've cut off 4 fringes, and we're going to use our double-sided tape. In this case, it's 1/2 inch, because I had a 1/2 inch measurement line there, so that's what I want to use. But if you have a shorter barrel, then use 3/8 or whatever you want. Just put a piece from top to bottom and cut it off. Love my double-sided tape. Okay, and just press it in place so it's on top. Peel it off, and then we're going to just do now a very precise and fine roll to get it as tight as possible, and keeping the tops aligned. It's looking good. And now we have a beautiful tassel. We're going to test it. Sometimes when you add the double-sided tape, it makes it a little bit thicker, so you may have to cut off 1 more fringe, but we'll do a test. Sometimes you don't, like today. Now, here is a little secret for you. Actually, I think I might trim off a tiny bit. Then I'll tell you my secret. Don't tell anybody else, though. Just kidding. You know how we are. Tell everybody everything so everybody can learn. All right, so I'm going to cut off 1 more. Because you want to be able to have room to get it in there. Now, here's my secret. First of all, if you want to make this a very permanent situation, you're going to take your glue. I love the Gutterman Creative Glue. Squeeze it on top here, and then just put it into your hardware, and just push this up, and then all the way to the top, as far as it'll go. And then that glue is going to set, and it's never coming out. So now some people ask me about these 2 screw holes. I have never successfully got them in. I usually I impale myself, and it's not pretty. So I don't screw them in. I guess you could try. Some people use that awl to get the hole. I don't. So I'm okay with that. Now here's my secret tip. What happens if you make this for yourself, and you love the tassel and it matches the bag, but you get rid of the bag, and now you're stuck with a tassel that doesn't necessarily match your bag. Don't put the glue up here, because this is not going to go anywhere. But if you decide you want to use this hardware some other time, all you got to do is take it out, and you have a nice pretty tassel holder, and you can use it again, and you can save this guy for something else. But the idea is, if you put the glue, it's pretty much never going to come out, because I've tried. So now, I'm using this for a bag that I plan to either sell or give away. So we're going to make the commitment and use the glue. So we're just putting it on top. Whew, that stuff is strong. This stuff, by the way, the glue, it's hard to find, but I buy it on Etsy in packages of 2, and it's worth it. It's a little pricey, but it's just my favorite glue. All right, so we put the glue on the end. This time we're going to pop it in there again and twist it in place. So it goes all the way to the top. Okay. And that's going to dry in a couple hours. It's beautiful. Now, one more thing. Sometimes your cutting may be a little off once you did all the, sometimes the leather stretches a little bit. So you have the option of giving her a haircut on the bottom. Sometimes, so you just lay this out on your table. See this here. lay out so the fringe is kind of flat. Put your ruler. I'm going to take off about a half an inch because I like them to be even, and also it's a little bit long, so even there. Put this here, this down, and we're just going to lop off. Watch out for your fingers. Just lop off. Okay? And she's done, and she's beautiful. And now she has a sister, because they're going to be on 2 bags that I'm making later on this week. So that is how you make a leather tassel. So I'm going to pause the video and then show you next how to make the vinyl and fabric tassels too. So make all the tassels. Yay! Thank you. Okay, so we're back. Now we're going to make our really fun, inexpensive tassels that are just super cute, fun, easy to make. You know, once in a while you have a bag that you just want the tassel to match exactly the same, and but it's not always easy to do. So now, when you have a little scrap of vinyl from your bag, and then use the lining as the backing, you can make it be a perfect match. So, like I said earlier, so this is one that I made. This is pink marine vinyl from My Punk Embroidery, and then black and white polka dot fabric. This tassel is probably now about 6 weeks old, and you can tell she's doing just fine. The fabric is not coming off of the vinyl, so I think they're going to have longevity. And if they don't, well, heck, it probably cost me $1 to make, if that. So anyhow, there's a pink one, and then I made a couple of black and white ones, because I always need black and white, as you probably know. So those are real cute. So let's talk about what we need to make a vinyl tassel. I'll put these aside over here. So we're going to need a piece of vinyl, obviously, a piece of fabric, my favorites. You know, you don't want the vinyl to be too thick, because you still need to roll it. And then as far as the size, so in the end we want a 4x6 piece of vinyl and fabric that have been glued together. But we're going to start off with a bigger piece. So I think this is probably, let me just tell you what it is. So the vinyl is about 5 by, about 5x7 is the vinyl. And your fabric, you want it to be about 1 inch or so bigger around. It's just so that you can have some wiggle room. So what we're going to do is, well, let me show you first of all what you need to make all this before I get into it. So you're going to need, I use this EcoFlow, it's called EcoFlow Leather Weld. It's from Tandy, and you can buy it online at Amazon. I think it's about $10 for a, let's see, 4-ounce bottle. So I use this a lot. I really like it. There's also, I think, a Rowley's brand, which is good too. So those are your options. I don't like to use Fabri-Tac, or because it's, I don't get the seal that I like, and sometimes it leaves bumps. So this is my preference. So there's that. You're going to need, this is a pasta roller, you know, or you can get one of those fancy seam rollers, but this is my trusty pasta roller, I think from Pampered Chef. God knows how old it is. That's what I use. You're going to need, of course, your tassel holder. We're going to use the one from bagsbycat.com, because it's just kind of the right size, because we're going to put it on this bag, which is so pretty. The new Antonella bag from Shambhala. And let's see, of course, you're going to need some rulers for cutting. Your same 8mm rotary cutter. This is a room key. That's going to help you apply the glue to the vinyl. And some, let's see, some more double-sided tape, probably like 3/8, maybe ½ inch, we'll see. And some paper or something, so that you don't make a mess all over your table. So let's get started. I'm going to put a piece of paper down here. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And we're going to take the vinyl and put it face down here. I know it's white on white, but my paper's white. Sorry. And I'm going to take some you're going to be very liberal with this glue. I'm going to just take it and we're going to put quite a bit. And different vinyl will absorb it faster than others. Take your credit card, your room key card, and smooth it all down. Now this vinyl doesn't absorb it as quickly, which is nice. Keep it on the paper because you want to get it completely covered all the way. Okay? Make sure you keep the glue on the paper, not on your cutting mat. And you can put this aside. This is water soluble, the glue, so you can just wash your room key card in the sink and use it for all your gluing needs. All right. Now usually I will let this set a little bit, maybe get a little tacky, but in the interest of time, we're going to pick this up. We're going to get a new piece of paper for you. New piece of paper. We're going to put it down. Then we're going to take, you can't let it set, maybe a couple of minutes, but we'll just go ahead and do it. And then you're going to put your fabric right side up. Well, actually you want to be able to see this. Either way. Center this gluey piece of vinyl on your fabric. And if you notice any glue on the exterior of the vinyl, wipe it off. Okay, so put it on there like so. Then you're going to use your pasta roller, and you're just going to roll it all nice and flat. If you get any glue on your roller, wipe it off. Life is easy. Don't make it harder than it is. Okay, so done that. You can flip it over if you want. And do that again. Now, here's the hard part. You have to wait for this to dry completely because you can't cut it when it's still wet. So what I like to do is I'll just go put it under a book or something, and it might dry in 3 hours. Just do it overnight, just wait. So we're gonna put this under a book, and I'm gonna come back tonight. Ha! Just kidding you, I got one made. You know me better than that. All right, so now we have our nicely glued vinyl. She sat overnight. Isn't it gonna be pretty with that? I know. So this is now, oh, don't forget, the fabric has woven fuse to it and size before you add it to the vinyl. So, all right, so now we're gonna trim this piece, which is bigger than we needed, to 5 by 7. I'm sorry, 4 by 6. It used to be 5 by 7. So we're gonna trim it to 4 by 6. So first we'll go on the fore side. This side. If you want your tassel longer, don't cut it 4 by 6. Cut it whatever you want, because your different tassels work for different bags. Okay. So there's the 4-inch cut, but I'm going to make it 6 inches because I know that works for my bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to cut off here. Flip it this way and get our last cut. Then we're going to make a tassel. So my luck so far is when I make the tassels with the fabric backing, they haven't come apart. Somebody in the group did say to cut your fabric on the bias before you attach it. I did that with this version, so we'll see how that works out too. You got some cute little straps. I don't know what you can do with that. I'm going to toss them. Garbage. All right, so now 4 by 6 piece of with the gold dots on the back. Oh my God. Okay, so same as before with the leather tassel. First we're going to look at our hardware and see how big the barrel is and compare that on the cutting mat. So this one is similar to the hexagon one, so I'm just going to do a 1/2 inch line, and I don't know if it matters what side we cut on, but I'm going to draw that on the gold side. So I got my handy pencil. And we're going to draw a 1/2 inch line. That just shows us how we can, where we start our cutting with our rotary. So we have a 1/2 inch line. If you can see it, I can't see it, so I'm going to use, well, I can see it good enough. We'll use an actual pen. You're not going to see these lines inside the barrel, because I can't see that. So I'll do it a little bit less just to be safe. I'll use a pen. So you could do the back if you wanted to as well. That might show it better, but I did it on the front. Shh, no one's going to know. Okay, so now, just like we did with the leather tassel, we're going to get our ruler. In this case, we're using a smaller ruler because a tassel is only going to be 6 inches or so long. I'm going to stand up again because it's too hard and dangerous to cut. So I'm hoping that you can see this, and we're going to repeat the same idea and make 1/8 of an inch cuts all the way to the end. Use your cutting mat as a guide to keep everything straight, and make sure that your strips are not too thick, because it's not really pretty if they're thicker than 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so you're cutting just like the leather. Move your tassel, your fringe to the right so you can see what you're cutting, and make sure everything is straight. And sometimes when you cut these, you may not cut up high enough, so you can always take a little pair of scissors and just make that top cut deeper up to the line. But I try to keep it there. Okay. The reason why we move the fringe to the right is so you can see where you should be cutting, unless you just have better vision than I, which is certainly possible. Okay. So like I said, this one has been dried for a good day, actually 2. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to cut and worry about the vinyl and the fabric not being fully glued together before you start doing this. So I can see so far that none of my fabric is coming loose. So we have a beautiful tassel in the making. Okay, let me do this and shut up. Hopefully you can see this. All you can see is my hand, huh? Well, you get the idea. I'm going to keep cutting because I'm right-handed, so. So we'll just keep on cutting. So you can see our little tassels. I'll show you the hula skirt in a second here. Keep an eye on your fingers. Though you have 10, so you know, but no, just kidding. Don't cut yourself. Before you move your ruler out of the way, make sure that you get a full cut all the way through. But if you just apply some pressure, you don't have to worry about that actually, because it'll cut through. Keep cutting. Like I said before, just take your time. If it takes you 20 minutes, who cares? Because the end result is worth it. Because you're going to have a beautiful tassel for your bag or for a client's bag. And they're going to really appreciate your attention to detail. People are going to say, wow, Where'd you get that bag? Where'd you get that tassel? You'll say, ah, I made it. My friend made it. Here's her card. Do you want to buy one? That one didn't turn out too good. Cut that one again. Getting to the end. And one last one. Now, I'll sit down. And we're going to do, like we did before, a test run on the roll. Now I know that this is too big going this way, so I'm going to start this way. And maybe you can see me, maybe probably not. Again, we're just doing the test roll up to see how much tassel will fit into the cap. This cap is not as big as other caps, but we'll roll the whole thing up knowing that it's not going to fit. Okay, so too big, but isn't she cute? And she's got the little gold polka dots. All right, so we can kind of tell by folding her up that it's probably a good 3 fringes too big. So we'll cut it off. Again, you can save it for something. I don't know. Maybe for a tassel, for a zipper pull. Okay. So now we'll try that again on this particular cap. That seemed to be a good fit. And you can't see my ink line because it's well inside the cap. So there's a beautiful vinyl fabric. But let's finish the whole thing. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So this one is going to go on this bag because it needs to. So we're going to make this final one and we're going to commit to the DST and the glue. So take your 1/2 inch double-sided tape. Put it around the top. By the way, you could, if you wanted to, I guess you could fold this the other way and have the polka dots be on the outside. Trim off this. I just think I always do the vinyl on the outside. I'm not sure why, but options. We have options. So there's your double-sided tape. Like so. Da-da-da-da. Take off this tape. Carefully. Okay. We're going to give it a roll. Make sure you roll from the side that you want to be on the inside. Looks like this one. I want this to be on the inside. You can tell why. If they get a little wonky sometimes, just put that on the inside. Nobody will know. Okay. Perfection is really overrated, by the way. All right, so we're rolling it up now, using the top as a guide to keep it nice and even. And we're going to take off the glue in our hand. We're going to check, make sure it still fits, because sometimes it grows. It fits just fine. So, final commitment is we'll take our creative glue. Going to just put a little dab will do you, as they said. I'm dating myself. Okay. Just on the top. And we're going to gently insert it into the tassel cap. Give it a twisty twist all the way to the top. And there's your beautiful vinyl fabric tassel. Just imagine you can open up your entire world, but you can now make tassels out of vinyl and fabric because you have it all on hand already. So I'm going to add a lobster clasp to this after we're done. I'm going to hang it on my bag, my Antonella from Shambhala, and I'll be sporting a new bag in Scottsdale. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorials. I look forward to seeing all of your beautiful tassels in our groups. And if you have any questions, as always, just ask. So thanks. Have a great day.